Hey there, it's Melissa and welcome back to my channel. Before I get into this, apologies about the light. My lighting has decided to break right in the middle of this stay-at-home isolation period. My husband has been fiddling with it and trying to get it to work, but it's just literally broken now, of course, when I'm about to film. But anyway, I'm going to share this anyway, and hopefully when you watch it I have managed to fix it in iMovie. So, this is my February Hip Kit colour kit and layout share. So I got the main kit, the Project Life or Pocket Life kit and the paper add-on. I didn't get the embellishment kit because I wanted what was in the Pocket Life kit. This kit featured Bloom Street by Paige Evans for Pink Paisley and the Noteworthy collection by Pink Fresh Studio, and I absolutely love this kit. So before I show you what I've got in terms of embellishments, as always I'll show you the paper. So a lot of scraps here, bigger bits will go into my scrap bag, as will maybe the branding strips. I might even keep them aside. I think I'm going to put the Pink Fresh scraps into the Pink Fresh bag and the Paige Evans into the Paige Evans bag, because I still like to keep them, and I keep collections together where I've got a bit left over. Or actually I should say I keep manufacturers or designers collections together. So you know, I've got some I wouldn't even say substantial, but these are the larger pieces, and then I've got one full sheet of the Noteworthy paper with all the bikes on it called Just Be You. So you'd think I'd be able to use a bike paper quite easily, considering I do a lot of biking, and so do my kids. Anyway, that will definitely be used on a future layout. So that's the paper. Let's move that over there. Stickers and thickers, or letter stickers. Quite a lot of that left, so that'll go in with the Pink Fresh bag of stuff. Actually, let's just look at letter stickers. There. I think this came with the Pocket Life kit, and I've got quite a lot of that as well, so that will definitely get used. Stickers, oops, it's come apart, but 6x12 Bloom Street sticker sheet I've used quite a lot. I've still got a lot of this left, but like I said, it'll go in with the Paige Evans bag of things. Cardstock stickers from Noteworthy, I've used a few, I wouldn't say a lot. Definitely keep those and use them. The frames, and there were a few other things in with the frames, I've used, well, it says 14 and I've got 4 left, so I think I've done quite well there. Enamel dots, I've used a lot. Washi, you know my struggle with washi, I've used some of this, or hardly any really, but that'll be kept. This was the sticker book that comes with Bloom Street. I've used quite a lot of it really. Not any, well, hardly any of those, only one. And still quite a lot there to be used up. The Pocket Life cards, I used a few, as you'll see. I think these are meant for Traveller's Notebooks. I didn't do any Traveller's Notebook spreads, so I didn't use them, but these will go into my stash, and I do, when I make kits, I definitely use these. They're great for journaling on, or fussy cutting, or even layering behind your photos. There was a bottle of Nuvo drops, and I was never ever going to use that up, and I love having things like this in my stash, so that will go directly in. This was a sheet of cut aparts from Pink Fresh, and I don't think I used any of them, so that was not good on my part, but I'll keep them and I'll definitely use them. These are the Noteworthy ephemera pieces. Some of these may also be part of the cut apart by the looks of that. Those two. And that one, I can tell because I've got the pattern on the back, and that one. So I used some of them. I don't mind having these left over. That's cut apart from one of the papers, but that can just stay in there. So that will go into my stash for sure. And then the Paige Evans ephemera. So one of these ephemera packs came with the main kit, and the other one came with the Pocket Life. I think this one probably came with the Pocket Life, which is why I wanted the Pocket Life. So, you know, I've still got quite a lot left there as well. So let me just clear this out and I'll get on to the layout. So I believe I made a total of 12 layouts and 1 pocket or Project Life type layout, which I'll get to. So yeah, let's just go through them. So this one was for my series with Danny, the Unscrapped Bundle of Joy, and I used a sketch from Christy's Beautiful Life. She has been doing 30 days of sketches during April, and so I used one of the sketches to inspire this layout, and I loved that it featured pattern paper. And I was going to say it's mostly, so no, let me explain it. The paper blocks are Pink Fresh Noteworthy, and the embellishments are Bloom Street. And amazingly on this one I didn't matte my photos, which was just a huge thing for me. The reason I didn't matte them is because obviously if I were to matte them I'd have to trim them down even further. And so there's a process video for this one if you want to see more. This one, we have a group here in New Zealand. We've been doing, it's a group called Scrap at Home, and there's one friend from Australia in it too, but we've been scrapping, we're having little crops during the weekends. It started from our lockdown and it went for a few weekends. We didn't have one last weekend because it was International Scrapbooking Day, but anyway, one of my challenges was a telephone hop that I set up, and then this was my take on Beverly Warwick, who was before me. And if you look on my Instagram you'll be able to see her layout because it's posted. The next photo from mine is her one behind my photo, and she had made mountains out of paper and I saw kites, and it was perfect to scrap this photo of Sam and his aria at the beach, and I used this beautiful Heidi Swap paper that just reminded me of the beach. So that is that one. Yeah, lots of hand stitching, no mixed media because it's kind of done for me. This one was playing along with CSI challenge blog, which was colour scene investigation, and the challenge that I chose had hexagons. I don't have a hexagon die. I could have cut it on my silhouette, but I had an old Studio Calico hexagon stamp, so I just stamped on the papers, fussy cut them out, and then just arranged them. And yeah, it's a funny photo of Ava with a funny face, but she does that when I take a photo of her. And it's a photo of her in her PJs. She had all day in PJs, and I thought, because I'm documenting our sort of journey through this coronavirus pandemic, PJs all day is definitely something we've been doing a bit of, so that is that one. This one was another Scrap at Home challenge, and the challenge was to use circles, and so I challenged myself majorly because I struggle with circles. I love them, but I struggle with placing them on a layout. So for this one I grabbed some of the existing circular elements from the kit, like that and that, and then I used my Big Shot to cut out some circles. I've got a concentric circles die kit, and I just selected some that were the sizes that were going to work with this really, and I cut my photo into a circle, and it's Azaria at Sports Day in 2018, and sort of hand stitched all of the pieces of paper, and then sort of laid my embellishment, went with the die cut for the title, and I watercoloured around in the colour that the embellishment is, just to add a bit of interest. My favourite paper from the entire kit was this one from Paige Evans, and you'll see a bit more of that in a sec in other layouts. This one was for a sketch challenge at one of the crops, the Scrap at Home crops that we had. I made this quite quickly, which for me is difficult to make a layout quickly. Yeah, if you look on my Instagram, I think you'll also see the sketch. Here's the Nuvo drops in action. Really, really pretty, pearly, kind of flat. I mean, still dimension, but quite a flat Nuvo. And let me just grab it. In case you're wondering, it is called Sweet Lilac, and it's a crystal drop. So yeah, I love that. I love the subtlety. I love it's like enamel dots, but you can control it. You can control the size and not where you place it. You can control where you place enamel dots too, but you get what I mean. So in this one, the placing of the enamel of the Nuvo, I was trying to be more organic and not just do the old groups of 3, but to go with the splatters that I put on the background. The splatters are Lindy's Gang Magicals that I got from a previous kit. So that's that one. This one was for Confessions of a Paper Addict, and the cut file was called Egg Mayhem, and I named the layout Egg Mayhem because it was me panic shopping. And I joke about that, but it kind of was, because just before our lockdown we had 2 days to get ready, and so I had to quickly buy some eggs, and I bought them for 3 different families, so I had a whole trolley full, and I looked like an absolute chocoholic maniac, or a crazy chocoholic. I also had to get a birthday present for Brielle because she had her birthday in lockdown, so I knew if I didn't get it she wouldn't understand. She's only just turned 6. So I backed the cut file with lots of scraps, I think. Did the watercolouring around in the colour that it is, added some tissue paper, I think from an old scrappery kit, and put my journaling on some paper from my stash. I couldn't find anything in this kit that I could write on as far as pattern paper went. Didn't want to use white, so just grabbed some paper with some lines on it in my stash. And yeah, added the Powell glitter paper, but this one, I mean, there's so much going on, it didn't need much embellishment. This one is an exclusive cut file from the kit. Oh, I'm just making sure I've got the next one in. So Ava had to have a scan of her kidney, and she was real brave, and it was when coronavirus was in our country and we were kind of wondering what was going to happen. But anyway, I took her to have the scan. She was very brave, so I'm just wiping some dust off. Very brave, very serious here, obviously, because no one likes having that done when they don't really understand. I thought the heart cut file was just perfect for this layout. I die cut some leaves with my Big Shot in a really old, not close to my heart, Stampin' Up, I think it is, but it's a Sizzix die anyway called Little Leaves, and I've used it so many times. And then I used a range of enamel dots and also Nuvo drops. Was that Nuvo? Yeah, Nuvo drops on the centres of the flowers. I'd done some splattering with watercolours in the background and just used those little letters to call it the scan. Journaling on one of those Bloom Street journaling tabs, or I don't know what you call those, journaling pieces. So this one is, well, obviously it's after the scan. She was a lot happier then. We took some photos. There was beautiful roses there. And this is one of the first layouts I made. And it was a sketch at Hip Kit, but I missed the deadline for getting it in. But anyway, I used my We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch to make an envelope. And then Ava was given these scan photos, so I just put them on white cardstock, punched a little tab and stapled it on just to slip them into the envelope. And I love the interactive element that this adds to this. Use some flowers. Like I said, it was a sketch that had an envelope, and yeah, put my journaling on one of those cards, layered some more paper underneath, cut with my craft knife, cut up that little banner or tab, put a pop dot underneath just to give a bit of dimension. And yeah, it's a bit dusty too because I've had it on display. So I love how this one turned out. And obviously it's a companion page to the page I just showed you with her having the scan. I think actually this is the first layout I made with the kit. Let's Stay Home was a free cut file from Paige Evans, and I thought it was perfect just to document these 3 girls in the kitchen, or 2 in the kitchen and 1 getting into the photo. I did lots of I was going to say, I've started using clear gesso, which has made a huge difference to my mixed media, and I've used Lindy's Magicals in the background there, just in the colours, or the main colours of this paper. This is one piece of paper, but I've selected the colours or the parts of the paper to go with each word, and it's my favourite paper, like I said before. So that is that one. This one was I was a guest for Christie's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches. I think this was day 26, and it had a rainbow, and the sketch had the rainbow going this way. This is a cut file from Confessions of a Paper Addict, and I just mirrored it to have the rainbow going this way. Christie also used the same cut file. I mean, the sketch was begging for that cut file, basically, or for a rainbow. Yeah, I love how this one turned out. I then realised, like I said, I had nothing to put my journaling on, but I could use packaging, and I think that's from Pink Fresh. And so I've put it inside the frame. Sometimes when frames are smaller and it's hard to know how to use them, putting other things in them aside from photos is something I like to do anyway. So little hint for you, a little hack. Love is all you need. This was one of the 4x6 cards from the Pocket kit, and I just cut them apart, fussy cut them, and then just made them as a title. There's a process video for this. I think I added the banner after I stopped filming, but anyway, this is just documenting them down by the river, our local river, and this will go into the COVID album as well. This one I was just playing with mixed media really, with the gesso, and in this, oh yeah, I was going to say watercolours. I used Distress inks. They're not oxide ones, they're the Distress inks. Old, really old now, but nothing wrong with them. And so what did I do? Yeah, did the Distress oxide, not oxides, did the Distress ink with the packaging technique in the, I think it's picked raspberry and something lemonade. And then I got a stencil with triangles, and I put some modelling paste or texture paste through the stencil. You can only sort of see it there. I had done some fussy cutting for that other layout for the Unscrap Bundle of Joy, and had some flowers left over, so I've used them. I used another big die cut, fussy cut some of those phrases off the pink fresh paper, and just placed the ones that sort of went with this. This is really a double page spread, so this is like the title page, and basically the story is that we would go for a drive over a bridge nearby, and Ava would always look down at the river and say she wanted to go to the beach, and then one day I said to her, let's go to the beach. And so yeah, she was so excited and so happy. And so this is how I do a double pager, is I will do a companion page and a pocket page. And of course, because I got the pocket kit, I thought it was good to try and make a pocket page and use some of the specific pocket product, which in this instance, I had this card, it came with it because it's a February kit. So what I did, working backwards, was I went through my photos to find what story in February can I tell, or in a February, it didn't have to be this one, but what story could I tell that could make use of that card. And so I needed a lot of photos to be able to make it be a double page layout, and especially a pocket page. And in this instance, it was the story of us going to the beach. Now, I'm probably getting off track here, but just so you know how I work with my scrapbooking and documenting our stories, this could have become a mini album as well, because there's several photos. There's a few more too, but I've picked the best ones. But that would have taken up a lot of time, and in this instance I don't think it really needed its full mini album, because it was only like, I don't know, hour and a half little trip that we did, and it's literally like 5 minutes drive or 10 minutes drive from our house. So I thought it would go really well as a pocket page. And so if I bring the other one, bring it back, it's kind of hard to see, but that's what it will look like in the album. Sometimes if I had another really good photo and I wanted to tell a bit more of the story, or even if I had more photos, I would keep telling the story here and maybe even have another full page, 12 by 12, just finishing off the story. Now this will go into her album, and does it bother me that there's nothing here? No, it actually doesn't. I know for some people that would bother you. If it were to bother you, you could have a look at your photos and then plan the next story in the album to be a pocket page, and maybe another full-size page over here. Or you could put pattern paper in these ones and then just leave it like that. It doesn't bother me. If it were a mini album and it was smaller, let's say it was, that size, would I leave it like that? No, I'd definitely fill it. So a lot of my albums where there's a story that is over multiple pages, including pocket pages, a lot of them don't have anything on the back side, and that doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother my kids either. I think they're more interested in the photos, and as they get older, they'll read the story. So my final layout with this kit is this one, and I made this in response to one of the challenges at Paige Evans' Happy Scrappy Place on Facebook, and it was her challenge, and it was to use Bloom Street on a layout. And I know a lot of people have done these paintbrush layouts, and it's probably because HipKit came out with the cut file. So I was really careful. I didn't want to copy anybody else, and if I have, it's indirect, and I'm sorry. I saw a lot of people use the paintbrush, and like Missy Whiddon did a rainbow. She cut paper into rainbows and put it coming, the paintbrush would be square on and the rainbow would come out. Yana, who's on the design team, did an amazing layout with the paintbrush as well. She added bristles and everything, and I know a few other people have used it. I took this paper here, which I thought I had some scraps of that actually, but it wasn't in my at the beginning with the paper. But anyway, or was it? Let me just see. Oh, here. So this paper was basically, it had white border, but it was just a page full of these arrows. So I fussy cut them, and I know a lot of people have fussy cut them as well. I mean, it's kind of begging to be fussy cut and begging to be placed in a rainbow. So I fussy cut them. I did, oh okay, so I fussy cut them, and then I gessoed this paper, and then I used close to my heart watercolours and the packaging technique, and just sort of went through the main colours, which is like the pink, the purple, the blue, the green, the yellow, through the background, kind of like a rainbow, but not in order. There was a lot more pink than any other colour, and so then what I did was position them, and at first I put them in straight lines, sort of going from dark to light, and I didn't like how that looked. It looked too perfect, so I decided to mix it up a bit. Generally keep the colours where they are, but kind of mix them a little bit. And then I had this photo of Ava with the Instagram doggy filter, and I guess I was going to call this layout "You Bring So Much Colour to Our Life," but I've put that in the journaling. And the reason, I selected her for this kind of artsy display of colour is because she is so different to the other kids. Makes us laugh in a way that the others don't. Totally different personality, even looks a bit different to the other kids. And she just, she wakes up. When she's awake in the morning, you hear about it. She ping, and she's awake, and she just brings so much joy and fun to our family. Not that the others don't, they do too, but I just wanted to make this layout about her and the funny things that she does. So that's why I selected that. This was a die cut. I think it said "You Make My Heart Flutter," but this photo is really small, and the reason I picked a small photo is because I really wanted to focus on this painted look, and I thought using that little die cut, bit of the washi, one of a kind is definitely Ava, a couple of embellishments, popped the photo up on foam, and then added this twine just to the top, just to draw attention in, helped balance out the fact that it is a very small photo. So put some embellishment through it, purposefully didn't put these words, like I sort of slanted them a bit so that they weren't on the same angle as the paint, and then added the butterfly just to cover up some of the paintbrush. Now with the paintbrush I used Heidi Swap texture paste in silver, and all I did was use a paintbrush and put it on roughly just to mimic, I guess, a well-used paintbrush. So that is that one. I've rambled on and on and on. It's probably because I haven't really spoken to many adults aside from my husband for the last, must be 6 weeks now. So those are my layouts. I hope you enjoyed. I've put my next kit, which is March, I've put it into the iris container, but I haven't started it yet, and I'm hoping to do that tonight. So definitely keep a lookout. Definitely keep a lookout on my Instagram, because I don't film everything because it's just not possible, and with the lack of lighting now it's probably not really possible at all. I'll have lots more to share on my Instagram, so I'll put the link below, and I'd love it if you'd come and follow me there. So thanks guys. Also thank you for all your comments, all your likes on my latest videos. Things have been crazy here with homeschool and working from home, and I haven't had a chance to go back and comment, but I definitely will. So thank you so much, and I'll be back again soon.